Somebody Like Me was a song that I wrote with another great writer. His name's Neil Thrasher. And was actually walking into a studio really late one night, and I was actually going to record a demo for a song, and it was 11 o'clock p.m. at night, and it was just me and another guy in the control room. And he was telling me all about life, and he had spent some time on the road and was telling me all kinds of stories, most of which I can't repeat to you. Honestly, part of me wanted to get up and walk away. But there's another part of me that said, you need to sit down and listen to what this guy has to say. And so I stayed a little bit longer and listened to a few more of his stories. And about that time, a guy walked in the back door, one of my friends, and pointed at me and said, "You better watch this young man right here, because he's a church boy." The guy looked at me and his face went sheet white and said, "Is that true? Are you a church boy?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what you mean by church boy, but if you're asking if I go to church, the answer is yes." And all of a sudden he got really serious and he said, "Man, they wouldn't even let me in churches in this town. They wouldn't pray with me. They wouldn't want to sit beside me." He said, "In the end, they just give me those looks that Christians give." And I knew exactly what he meant, a look of judgment. And I assured him that there were plenty of churches in this town and all across the world that would love to pray with him, that would love to put an arm around him. But it broke my heart because I realized that he was right, that there are churches here that would judge him. And I think it broke my heart and even made me a little angry. And so I did in this process what any responsible songwriter would do. I walked into a room with a buddy of mine and we wrote the story of this song. And again, the idea is just that there are people that sit in our pews, in our seats, every service, that are hurting, that need some kind of touch from God. And that touch very well may come from you and I. So let's do it, as opposed to judging and trying to figure out why they walked down the road that they walked down. What would happen if you and I literally just put an arm around them and said a prayer for them and was literally Jesus in the flesh, as opposed to point a finger at somebody else saying it's your responsibility, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. What happens if we point the finger back at ourselves? So that person that needs to be the hands and feet of Jesus is somebody like me.